God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yes, this video is about Charlie. I've hesitated on making this video as my channel doesn't pertain to this stuff anymore. When I first started my channel, it was vlogging and uplifting things, and we've gotten away from that. I hesitated because I didn't know what people would think, but it doesn't matter. I felt a calling to do this, and I'm going to do it. Charlie was a great man. We lost a great servant, a man of God, a son, a father, and a husband. Bear with me as I wrote a bunch. It's going to take some time. I'll try to keep it short. Charlie was a great, honest man who literally lost his life advocating for freedom of speech. For having an opinion that someone didn't agree with. It didn't sync or jive with someone. And he lost his life for it. I ask you this. I've had this conversation with many people in the last week. Whatever happened to agreeing to disagree? It doesn't happen anymore. It seems to be if you have a difference of opinion, well, you know what happens. Charlie was outspoken about his faith, fought for freedom of speech. He had conservative values, showed young men and women ways to enrich their lives through family, faith, and patriotism. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. His movement will live on. Simple as that. The most thing Charlie wanted to be remembered for was for his courage and his courage for his faith. I'm going to stop it here by saying, if you are one of the people that think this is hilarious, that he's been assassinated, that you're thinking it's funny, that you're celebrating it, you can get off my channel right now. If there's going to be any horrible comments, I'm going to delete them and then block you from my channel. We'll continue. Disgust, hatred is no part. I won't have it. That being said, no one deserves to die. Nobody. Especially not for their opinion. Again, Charlie Kirk literally died advocating for freedom of speech. He gave you the opportunity. He gave you the opportunity to come to him and talk. If you disagreed with him, you could come to him and talk, and he would give you his opinions and his ideas. And you could just disagree to agree, or agree to disagree, and move on. But it's beyond that, right? Now. But his movement will live on. His legacy will live on. Everyone's going to... Look at the world. There's testimonies now. There's thousands and thousands of testimonies of people coming forward. There was a video I seen this week, in the last week, that a man was an atheist. And Charlie Kirk kept telling people to turn to Jesus. And he was going to come to him on the 29th and tell him that he has stepped foot into church and that he is a believer. There was many, again, thousands of testimonies of people raving about Charlie. You guys thought that getting rid of him was going to stop a movement? Look what it's done. It's glorious what's going on. Not just the United States. It's great. It's around the world. countries are celebrating him in faith, not in death. They're praising God with Charlie. It's a good thing. But again, if you're celebrating him and because he's dead, you can leave my channel. My prayers go out to Charlie and his family. Charlie leaves this earth with a wife and 2 kids. But again, his movement will carry on. I'm going to stop right here and do a prayer that I grew up with. But it's been a long time, so I'm going to read it. And maybe you know it. It's the Our Father. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is thy kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. A few years ago, I left my church, not because of God, but for other reasons. And through Charlie, I've gone back. I've gone back to God. I'll be back at church again this Sunday. Even if you didn't agree with him, even if you disagreed with everything he had to say, he didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to die. Charlie was normal. He wasn't extreme, and he wasn't radical. They got rid of him for his principles, his values, and his beliefs. I'll say this, and I'll reiterate again. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. If you're left or you're right or you're independent. Stephen A. Smith, I believe he's SportsCenter or ESPN, one of those. I'm going to agree with him on one part of this. I don't care what your beliefs are. And if you hated him, I don't care what race you are, what gender you agree with. No one deserves this. Seen a quote today. It'll be posted after this video. Are you willing to lose friends over politics? No. But I will not be afraid to lose them over morals. I've been asking what I can do. I have a platform, so I've been asking God, what can I do? I felt a call to do this. I'm hopeful that people will continue to wake up, and I'm hopeful they will feel the call to Christ, and they'll keep praying. I haven't stopped praying since last week. Every single day, I pray when I get up. I pray about Charlie and his family. I pray about our country, the world, and my family. Even if you tell yourself you don't know how to pray, you can pray. Everybody can do it. God's good. And through time, He'll answer your prayers in one way or another. I had this quote here that I wrote down. So if you listen to Erica Kirk's speech, Charlie's wife, I think it was only 3 days after he passed that he was murdered. At the end of her speech, she talked about that she came home and her girl ran up to her and said, "Where's Daddy?" Now, I don't have kids, but I imagine it's got to be extremely hard. I won't go into this about my family because this is about Charlie. But she said, her daughter said, "Where's Daddy?" And Erica responded with, "He's on a work trip with Jesus so he can afford your blueberry budget." You took a father away from 2 kids that now have to grow up without a father. And you widowed a wife. I'm going to leave you guys off with this. It's not really a prayer. Actually, I'm going to leave you off with this, and then I'll leave you off with the last thing. It isn't a coincidence that millions are mourning a stranger together. Many of us may have never even shed a tear for a celebrity that we didn't know. I didn't personally know him, but I watched his content on a daily basis. I loved it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I loved everything about him. You know, at everything he, and every time he was at a campus, he would actually tell the gospel, and he would do a prayer. It sickens me. Again, he gave you the opportunity. He gave you the opportunity to talk to him. If you disagreed with him, you could talk to him. A lot of people that disagreed to him went and talked to him and asked him questions and what his beliefs were. And he would tell them. And above all, he would always say, you must seek Jesus and pray to him. It's no coincidence that we're mourning him. It's because he was a great man of God. Charlie was a great man of God. I wish more and more people would continue to see that. It's the Holy Spirit working in all of us. This isn't Charlie's end. It's the beginning. I'll tell you one quick thing here before I let you go. So Charlie Kirk's dream was to have 20,000 chapters in every college, campus, and high school around the country. 20,000 chapters. Clubs, places where people could go freely and talk about God and Jesus and stuff that he preached. 20,000. That seems crazy, right? It's not. As of this week, there are over 50,000 chapters, which means they've doubled. This is a song I'm going to leave you off with that I have been playing on repeat quite often. I have to say that Charlie returned me back to... I was listening to Christmas music all the time, but now I'm listening to it almost daily. I talk to God more often than not. I can't stop posting about the guy. We lost somebody great. But but I have to say good things will come out of this. Again, look at the world. They're waking up, they're praising God. This isn't just a U.S. thing anymore. They're mourning the loss of Charlie. But millions are waking up in every country. I'm going to read this quote to you, this song. Just one segment of it, but it's from Jackie D. Shannon, or Day Shannon. I can't remember if that's her name or not. It was made in the 60s. But it's true. It's true. And then there'll be a moment of silence at the end of this video. I'm not going to play any music, but it'll be for Charlie and his family. I pray that Erica and her kids can find peace through all this at some point. I pray for my family, that they're all doing good. I pray for all of you. I pray for this world. There's so much evil in this world that I wish it would stop. There's so much violence. There's so much evil. It needs to stop. There should be no violence anywhere. No one should be okay with this. No one should be cheering his death. It's never okay to kill anybody. And I believe that. Anybody. No one deserves to die. Especially not this way. Not for having an opinion. Anyways, we're getting this video's a lot longer than I was trying to get. I was trying to keep it short for y'all. By the time this video gets posted, it'll be Friday. It's Wednesday. Wednesday today is a week since Charlie has been gone. I have a hard time. Every time I talk about it, I'm gonna cry. It's like losing a family member, only I think it's bigger. Sometimes it feels bigger than losing a family member. I've lost a lot of family in my life, but this is different. I'm going to tell you a little story before I let you go. Before I read this last quote. Last Monday, not this Monday, Monday before Charlie was assassinated. I talked to a friend and I said, do you ever feel like you're meant for something bigger? And he didn't really have his response because it was such a... The way I said it was just like that. It was like a serious quote or serious question. I feel like I'm called to do something else this time of my life. Tuesday, the next day, I felt this horrible depression. Now I've had depression in my life, but not to this magnitude. And I couldn't shake it. I couldn't figure out why I was so sad. And then Wednesday, Charlie was assassinated, and after talking to multiple people about this, the best one that stands out the best is, I think it was God preparing me. Because he knows how spiritual I am. We lost a great guy, but his movement will carry on. I love you, Charlie. You did a lot for us. I pray for you and your family, that you'll find peace somehow in some way through all this. This song was by Jackie D. Shannon. Day Shannon. What the world needs now is love. Sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love. Sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.